Good morning, boys and girls, and men and ladies, and I don't know, maybe Carlos too. This is lesson 93, Algebra 1. It is page 388. Strongly advise you to listen to this, to look at it. For Elijah and Tucker, you got to write this stuff down. I'm telling you, just about the only way to do this is to write it down. Obviously, you have your own thing, but I'm just telling you. So, what it is products of rational expressions and quotients of radical expressions. That is multiplying and dividing radical expressions, which is fractions. Okay, these are fractions that you probably cannot put into your calculator, Tucker. Sorry. So what we're going to do here is, because we have all this stuff, it's multiplication. First step is I have to factor this, factor this, factor this, factor this. And then I'm going to cross cancel top to bottom anything I can that's the same within parentheses, okay? You cannot factor x squared and x squared. It will not work. You can't do that. You have to take and factor the entire equation. All right, so this piece right here is called the what? I can hear you thinking, Lydia says, it's the difference of two squares, because she's so smart, okay? It's the difference, that's a perfect square, that's a perfect square. So how do you factor that? What's the pattern? What's going to go here? What's going to go here? What's going to go here? Square root of this, x, there's a plus, a minus, 5, and 5. Difference of two squares. I know that you all remember that very well, okay? This one here is just factor it. What's the common factor? It's the first thing you always look for, common factor. Common factor is, Elijah, no, that's not right. It's x. So I take x out, and what's left? A big dot right here. Okay, it's x minus 7. I took x out of here. I divided it out, that's what's left. This is factored. Okay, right here, same thing, common factor, okay? X times the quantity, x plus 3. Divide out, okay? This here is a trinomial. There's no common factor. It's not a difference of two squares. I'm going to factor it into the two parentheses. Okay, it's a minus and a minus. So I will have a plus and a minus. X. 15 is either going to be 1 and 15 or 3 and 5. I want to have a negative 2 here, so I want to have a negative 5 and a positive 3. All right, that's everything factored. That pretty good? You guys got to remember how to factor. Factor properly, okay? Now, I want to look anywhere top to bottom. Since this is multiplication, it's all the top and all the bottom. So I see, let's use a different color here because it's so much fun. All right, we can factor out an x here and an x here. Yes, do you understand that? This is all multiplication. I can cross cancel things. I have an x minus 5 here. You see that? X minus 5 here. I can cross cancel those. I have an x plus 3 here, an x plus 3 here. You all see that? What I have left is this and that. That's all that's left. So equal signs, I have x plus 5 over x minus 7. That's all we're doing. There's not anything new in here. It's exactly what you've been doing. You just have to think how to factor. Difference of two squares right here. Okay? Common factor. Common factor. A trinomial factoring. Okay? Make sure you do this right. Jade, make sure you do this right. Signs right. Then anything that's the same, put parentheses around stuff. Anything that's the same. This parentheses and this parentheses are exactly the same. This one and this one, that x and that x, they're gone. Whatever's left is what's left. It is doing fractions. You're going to reduce it, take out all the factors, cross cancel everything that's the same. That was kind of, you like that? Cross cancel everything is the same. Whatever's left is left. This is how you do it. All right? Let's look at uno more. Or one más, however you want to look at that. There's got to be something more fun here. About 93.2. So x, well, I'm going to leave it down far enough I can do this. X squared plus x minus 6. I know you probably just have already got this done in your head. X squared minus 4x minus 21. I'm going to have to do another one over here in just a minute. X squared minus 8x plus 7 and x squared minus x minus 2. The hard part for me is writing it down. So I don't have you guys to read it to me. I really miss that. Okay, so I'm missing you, Lydia. All right, so this is just factoring, 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 factoring. You all see that. There's no common factors here. There's no perfect squares, all that stuff. So this is just two sets of parentheses, two sets of parentheses, two sets of parentheses, two sets of parentheses. This is going to be an x and an x. This is a plus and a minus. So probably I'm going to have a plus and a minus. 6 is, what are we going to do for 6 there? I want to get a positive 1 here, right? So it's going to be 2 and 3. I want the 3 to be positive because I want to have a positive 1. 3 take away 2 is 1. 3 times 2, negative 6. All right, here, x, x. Now if I have a minus here and a plus here, I'm going to have minus, minus. Hope you all get that. Minus, minus. The only way we get 7 is 7 and 1, right? 7 and 1. This times this is a positive 7. This plus this is a negative 8. Okay, x, x. I have a minus, minus. It's going to be a plus and a minus. At 21, probably it's going to be 21 and 1 or 7 and 3. I'm thinking 7 and 3. I want to have my middle term negative, so I want to have the bigger number negative. 7 and 3. 7 take away 3 is 4. Negative 4. Bang. All right, over here. Boom, boom, plus, minus. Probably going to be 2 and 1. What do you think? All right, so I'm going to have negative 2, positive 1. All right, hard stuff there. I know that it's really complicated for you guys. Make sure you get the signs right, okay? Again, Jade and a couple other signs is everything on this. I have an x plus 3. I have an x plus 3. These have to be identical to take them off. X take away 7, x minus 7. Okay? I have a minus 2 here. I have a minus 2 here. Minus 1 plus 1, they are not the same, Carlos. I cannot do anything. That's what's left. X minus 1, x plus 1. Good idea to leave the parentheses around them. That be a answer. Okay? A little bit of patience here. I'm going to do one more because there's two parts to this lesson. One part is multiplication. The other part is division. All right? So y'all can freak out on division if you want to. I'm going to write this a little bit differently than I did before. Let's see which one looks more fun here. Yeah, we'll do the second one. X squared minus x minus 6 over x squared minus 3x minus, oops. Let's see, I'm losing myself. So yeah, there we go, 10. Got to make sure I get the right problem because that would be embarrassing if I wrote down the wrong one. This is divided by, okay? So when I'm dividing fractions, what do you do? What do you do when you divide fractions? You do what? Invert and multiply. Okay, you invert and multiply. Plus 5x. I don't know why you guys won't do the high squeaky voice. I like to do the high squeaky voice. I think it's just cool. Y'all think it's weird, but y'all are weird anyway. So x, that was a 2 in another lifetime. Got run over by a truck. Minus 20. That's why I was like blue flat. So as we factor this, okay, as we factor this, Tucker, right? As we factor this, go up, Grant. As we factor, this part here is going to be inverted. Y'all get that? I'm going to dividing by a fraction. I invert and multiply. I'm going to invert this. So as I factor it, I'm going to write it upside down. Y'all got that? As I factor it, I'm going to write it upside down. So I'm going to, instead of coming up and down, I'm going to factor this down here. All right? This right here, obviously it's going to be 2 of these over this right here. There's not a common factor or anything, so it's just parentheses. No common factors. So I'm going to go times parentheses, 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 parentheses. If you stick your tongue out just right, it works better. Okay. Right here, I'm going to have x and x. Negative 6 is again going to be a plus minus. It's going to be a minus 3 and plus 2. This one here, this one stays like it is. I'm not inverting the first one, okay? We got x and x. Negative 10 is going to be, probably like 5 times 2. There's a plus and a minus. I want it negative here, so I want a negative 5. The larger one's negative times 2. Hopefully I don't do anything wrong. That would be really embarrassing. Now I'm going to take this one and put it on top. I'm going to take the bottom here. I'm going to write it down on top. I'm going to invert this as I go. Again, minus, minus, plus, minus 20. I want to get -1, so I want numbers that are 1 apart, like 4 times 5. All right. I want the 5 negative. This is going to go on the bottom. Plus, plus is going to be x, x, plus, plus. To get 4 here and 5 here, all I have, it's not 2 times 2, because that doesn't work. 2 plus 2 is 4. So it's going to be 4 and a 1. All right? Now it's just cross-cancel everything in the universe that you can. Okay, it's always fun to pull out your different colored pen, but don't do that because your pencils are supposed to be pencils. X squared, I got a -3. I don't see a minus anywhere. A -5. There we go, -5. That'll work. Got a +4. Got a +4. X minus 3. And X plus 1. Done and done. Okay? Again, I don't know any way to do this without writing it down. You need to write it down. You need to factor it. Elijah, I would suggest on the right-hand side of your paper, you write it down, you factor it, I don't know, whatever you want. But you got to have all this in here. And just bring over whatever's left. Now sometimes, let me help you here, sometimes you won't be able to factor out hardly anything. And there's just a lot of stuff left. It's okay. Now, just because I got to ask this, because y'all get all freaked out on this. If everything cross-cancels, if, and it doesn't, but if everything, I can say it cross-canceled like this, just for fun, Carlos, what's the answer? I hope you didn't say nothing, because these are all ones. If everything cross-cancel, the answer is 1. Please don't do that, okay? Please don't do that. I love you very much. All right, let's go